The COVID-19 pandemic has illustrated how ill-equipped our current system and structures are in both the global south and north to adequately and efficiently respond to global crises. There is a clear lack of inclusivity in approaching our collective responses and recovery efforts. A whole of society approach requires the meaningful participation and leadership of women and young women as critical components for success, yet their contribution, participation, and leadership continues to be sidelined, neglected, or dismissed.
For instance, the global healthcare workforce is 70% women. However, analysis shows only a mere 3.5% of the 115 identified COVID-19 decision-making and expert task forces globally have gender parity in their membership. Of these decision-making bodies, 85.2% are majority men. In the political space, while the number of women parliamentarians has doubled in the last 20 years, standing at almost 25%, it does not reflect equally amongst all women. Young women under the age of 30 still only make up less than 1% of parliamentarians worldwide, even though there are more people between the ages of 10 to 24 than any time in history.
The same rings true for women and young women of faith, who are also leaders within their communities and within religious foundations and hierarchies. Women of faith leaders face the same gender parity caps within leadership positions of their institutions. Women of faith leaders also face harmful social and cultural norms, such as religious text interpretations that are used to hinder their opportunity to participate and lead in decision-making processes within their community and in society. And women of faith leaders also face economic disparities, as well as violence and harassment, both in person and online, and other forms of discrimination due to their gender. No matter what sector we are working in, there's a clear lack of parity and acceptance in ensuring women's leadership and decision-making at all levels.
We have come to a crucial reflection point where the international community can recognize our progress made toward women's leadership, but also recognize that more action is needed. The World Economic Forum estimates it will still take 9 to 4.5 years to achieve political parity. What we need more than ever is accelerant to fast forward the slow pace toward gender equality. The international community needs to accelerate progress by nearly 2 times to ensure women are equally represented in key political positions by 2030.
However, women's participation and leadership are facing increased pushbacks, including shrinking civil space, mobility restrictions, exacerbated working conditions, a decrease in available resources, and increased surveillance that has reduced their ability to organize. Even in the midst of these pushbacks, women's organizations have risen to the challenge and have still been working to meet the needs of their communities and to protect the advancement gains that they have made locally and regionally.
This is why Finch's Aid and the Network for Religious and Traditional Peacemakers have been working to create opportunities for women peacebuilders, including young women, to lead and to showcase their extraordinary abilities in COVID-19 response efforts. In the past 10 months, we have worked with women and youth of faith leaders in South and Southeast Asia who are countering misinformation, hate speech, and stereotypes via online platforms.
We have also worked with Bay Women Network of Female Leaders in Somalia and prominent Somalia diaspora figures and authority to spread correct information on COVID-19 and to provide guidance on how to practice social distancing and other precautionary measures while abiding by one's religion. The active mobilizations among women from diverse backgrounds and effective advocacy from the Bay Women Network resulted in the election of 16 women of Assembly of Southwest State of Somalia and 10 female councillors in a newly formed district council in the state, and also women at the forefront of COVID-19 response and recovery. We also work with religious and traditional leaders to change negative stereotypes about women in leadership and decision making, and how to recognize and address the increased rates of gender-based violence that is occurring in homes and community all over the world.
Let's be clear. Without women, there is no effective and successful COVID-19 response and recovery. Without women's full and equal participation and leadership across all sectors, there is no building back better. Women are an integral component to the pandemic response as well as supporting and sustaining peace. Their perspectives and experiences are critical to address today's growing global challenges. It is vital to remember that we cannot solely rely on governance structures to support gender equality.
Achieving gender parity is a collective responsibility for both men and women, which is why we must also turn to grassroots community actors and leaders, including religious leaders. We need to ensure all of these important community leaders understand the vital importance and benefit of meaningful women's participation, including engaging young women and women from different cultures and ethnic backgrounds, as well as economic positions within society. Understanding, acceptance, and willingness are all key elements to ensuring women are being given the opportunity and ability to lead and meaningfully participate in public spaces and to achieve the 2030 agenda.